Okay, so I made a different video earlier, but this one is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so I was speaking to a friend of mine, very nice friend. Um, he was informing me about what's going on with the war and everything. I said, "Isn't there a war right now?" And I was like, "That's bullshit. At this point in 2024, we should be done with that." And I said, "Why are they fighting?" He said, "A lot of it's due to religion and stuff like that, and money and power." And I was like, "That's still not a good fucking reason to fight. Has nobody figured this out yet?" I was like, "What if both sides of whatever this is going on, right? What is it? What did he say? Is it Gaza and is it Jerusalem or something? I don't know. I don't follow this stuff. I purposefully try not to fill my head with that. If it came to my doorstep, it'd be a different deal. I'd understand that. But so I was wondering, and I said, what happens if both sides of the government decide to say, that's it, guys, put your weapons down, we're done fighting. I was thinking, then what? And he's like, well, they would probably still fight. He's like, because a lot of, you know, different cultures, like from India and stuff, they even fight each other, like Pakistani and stuff like that, and they're all fighting. I was like, why? He's like, well, again, because religion and all this. I was like, yeah, but that's still not a good fucking excuse. Why are they continuing this? I was like, have they not learned anything? I was like, all the years that have gone by, the decades, centuries, millennia, I was like, have they not learned anything? They just keep perpetuating this shit and it just keeps going in circles over and over and over again. Nobody's learning anything. I was like, also, when it comes to some of them and how they treat their women and stuff like that, listen, I'm not a full on feminist, but I do believe in equality. And he agreed with me. He's like, yeah, some of them are really, the way they treat their women. I was like, that's not okay. And I was like, you've got a lot of refugees or people coming over here to Canada. And I was like, they're making themselves very comfortable, and not to be racist or anything like that. I grew up in Toronto. It's multicultural as fuck, not just with traditions, but just any skin color you could think of, languages, dialects, and all. I was exposed to everything. As long as you're not a bitch or an asshole, I don't care what color you are or where you come from or what you believe in. It doesn't matter to me. It never did. And so I was just like, why? They come here. There's a lot of them coming over here and they're settling, which I fully agree to and stuff. Like everybody's, and I said, they know full well that Canada is very welcoming and that we're diverse and we're multicultural and that we're willing to do everything possible to make people feel at home and comfortable. And I was like, I think that some people are starting to take advantage of that. And I was like, um, when it comes to manners and stuff like that, when it comes to respect for another individual, when you come from a heavily populated area, nobody really, they're the way they treat each other, especially men to women, is not very polite. In fact, it's very disrespectful and rude, and it's just kind of in your face because they're used to all shoving each other around. And I was like, that's not okay here in Canada. And I've witnessed it firsthand, and I've had it done to me. The level of disrespect and lack of manners. It's like complete. And I was like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of Canadians that are straight up that fucking ignorant too. They're not off the hook. But I was like, they're coming over here and they're starting to get into every business, whether it be faculties at school or everything, and they're all settling, getting their jobs and everything, and they're doing whatever. But they're starting to bring in stuff like the brethren, like the brotherhood and stuff, and they're giving each other perks. They're using their shit to give other people free stuff, or there's a lineup and everybody's equally waiting in line, but then because they're part of the brotherhood, the other one gets to butt line and they get in. And I'm seeing this and I'm witnessing it everywhere, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's not okay. And I was like, not only that, they're trying to force old ways of thinking and religions onto people here in Canada and have us pick that up and run with it. And I was like, that's not okay either. Because some of the old shit that they haven't learned, their lessons, their cycles, they're trying to convince us to accept as our own. And they weren't positive ones. Not all of them are positive traditions or beliefs or values or any of that stuff. And some of the stuff they're pressing is going to actually make shit worse. Why? Because the lesson was not learned, so now they're trying to pass it to us. That's not okay. And again, this may sound like a racist video, but it's not. It's got nothing to do with your skin color. If you haven't learned fucking lessons and you're trying to project that onto other people because you know they're welcoming, that's like having you come into my home and then you turn around and say, oh, you're beneath me, you're disgusting, no wonder you can't hold a man, and being completely ungrateful to even be in my home. I accepted you and welcomed you in. And then you turn around and treat me like a slave girl or somebody that's beneath your fucking toe jam. That's not okay. And not only that, I understand full well what it's like when it comes to cults. I speak about it very often. And when it comes to certain faculties and groups and stuff that's going on, and then the favoritism, and how I believe in community 100%, but if there's people excluded out of that, it's not a fucking community thing, is it? No, it's like a cult. And this brotherhood shit and having each other help each other out, amazing, I love it. But when it comes to the expense of everybody else and nobody else is getting fair treatment, that's not just or fair. And if this is going to become an even greater thing and outnumbered to the point where they're running stuff and everybody gets favored other than the people in their own country, that's not okay either. That's not acceptable anywhere, really, if you think about it. If you have a way of certain things set up for everybody to be equal, well, they state everybody's equal here, but even that I'm a skeptical person about. Regardless, if you have specific things like everybody has to line up and each take their turn for whatever it is, but if you have people button the line just because they're part of some respectable group, I'm going to say that, and they have their specific religion and their beliefs and the way that they put each other first and treat each other, that's great and everything, but you still have to follow the rules just like everybody else. If not, it gets out of hand. You know what happens in the long run when people start catching on? The nice people that, let you into their homes and then you start turning around and running shit, they're going to get mad. And I can already see this happening, and I don't even want to utter the words because words are powerful and I don't want to start no shit. But people do get upset when they realize that they're being taken for, and they realize that somebody's infiltrated in a way or come over and take over shit. Especially when not all the traditions are for the good of everyone. You know what I'm saying? So I would be very careful, and I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I think I worded it with all due respect. I have nothing against any religion. In fact, I believe in all of them, and they all have a piece of the puzzle, and they all have valid points, and they all have information that we could use for our own knowledge bank in order to make proper decisions for everybody worldwide. Not in any way am I prejudiced or racist or anything like that, but shit's gonna have to be taken care of before it gets out of hand. And then on top of everything, he was explaining to me that the whole crown, I'm gonna say it, the crown, the jewel on the crown that was taken, they had managed to make sure that there was no actual proof or documentation. And then they split that gem, which is a diamond, a fucking diamond. On its own, it is just a diamond, a gem. There is no value to it. With vibrational frequency, it is very valuable and it amplifies. This is why they hold it so cherished and dear. And apparently they took it from India. And they had the last daughter or some son or something like that. Now, if I'm incorrect about this, I'm still learning. Go easy on me. But they had the last daughter or son marry into other people of royal bloodline and then hand over the gem. So they took that gem that was from the crown and I'm talking about the royal crown, the one that the queen was wearing before she passed, there was a gem and they split that diamond in two. And I think one's on display and the other one's in the crown. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, to make it fair, because they were so sly when they did it, and that was downright low, one half should go to India and the other half should stay with the fucking crown, whatever, I don't care, to make it fair. Because that's fucked up. That's fucked up. If anything, you'd think that the entire war that's going on right now, they're fighting each other when they should really be focusing on the real issues. And I have a few suspicions about the whole reason why Gaza or whatever and Israel will be fighting. See, this is why I don't get into politics, because I gotta be really, really cautious about the words that come out my mouth. And I honestly don't give a fuck. The war shouldn't be happening right now. Like I said, we've got far too much information and we know better by now. It's 2024, for fuck's sakes. If y'all put down your fucking weapons, there wouldn't be a fucking war. You understand that? If y'all just dropped shit and said, nah, I'm going the fuck home, fuck this. There's far more of us, and that includes the soldiers, than there are of the people pulling the strings. Those hurt little children in grown adults' bodies that are making poor decisions for the rest of you. Please understand this. If we don't start learning the lessons and we keep trying to continue the cycles that are supposed to be done by now, there's going to be problems. Not just for them, but for a lot of other fucking people too. Catch the issues before they become out of control. And I know there's a lot of things that people would say when it comes to I think it's the whole idea with the Jewish religion and everything like that, and how people are hating on and stuff like that. And you know what? Honestly, when it comes down to the ancestors and everything on their behalf and the shit that transpired and got passed down, and even some of the karma that they carry and the horrific things that were done to them, you got to understand there's still lessons in all of it. All of it, even the terrible shit. There was a fucking lesson there. There was a reason shit happened. Was it good? No. It was terrible, but there's a reason for it. And if we're not picking up on it and we're not learning the lessons, we're not seeing the whole fucking picture for what it actually is. And you got a bunch of people, and I'm pretty sure they're probably young men and women, fighting each other for no fucking reason. And the real demons we should be looking after right now, we should be coming after, or at least focusing our attention on to try to figure out what to do about that, are just walking around doing whatever they please and just making phone calls, pulling strings, and having the shit just keep going. It's gotta stop. It really has to stop. We can't keep doing this. I say this all sitting in the comfort of my home, with a roof over my head, with food, clothing. I could sit here and say this. That makes me fucking privileged. But I'll tell you what I'm not privileged for is being given the opportunity to get across to some other people some of the shit that I really, really want to fucking say. I have to be careful and watch my words. The censorship is out of control. People should be able to post online and it reach worldwide. If you start hiding shit from people and you're afraid of shit coming out, then you already know what you're doing is wrong. I've met so many different people in my life, so many different cultures, religions, backgrounds, and all of them, for the most part, have all been good people, solid people. And there's always been a few of the assholes in between, but even those individuals I recognize were really hurt. We gotta start acting like an actual community and working together. Not little tiny fucking cults within a community. Not little tiny brotherhood bullshit. No. No. Mm-mm. That's like having a country, right? And then you have a small little bit that everybody's helping each other out. Does that sound familiar? But then the rest of them don't get any help. They don't get a leg up. They don't get a chance to prove themselves. They don't get this. Everybody, there's like, it's a favoritism, first dibs. It's not fair, is it? It's not equal. And then you're skipping over people that could be real help to not just you guys, the ones making the stupid fucking decisions, but everybody else, because there's fucking geniuses that get left in the dust. There's people that have developed things that can help the entire fucking world that have been buried under paperwork or fucking ignored, written off, blacklisted, you name it. This is not okay. You guys are fucked for denying those people that came into your life and they're supposed to be like a fucking earth angel. They're supposed to be helpful. They were sent to help. And by sent, I don't mean from like a planet outside this one. That's not what I mean. They came in a different way. They came here in a different way, and half them don't even fucking realize what they're here for till they're already in it. Like waist high, and they're like, oh fuck, I didn't know this is what I signed up for. All right. How much further we gotta go? And they've already been helping people their entire fucking life. You've got right now 13, 14, 15-year-olds developing things that are going to improve the fucking world. What happens when they meet the board of a bunch of hurt children in grown-up bodies? They meet the board and all the people on the board vote no. And then the person gets blacklisted. That child gets shut out. Their idea, their invention gets fucking thrown in the garbage, or even worse, stolen. The idea gets stolen and they don't get anything for it. There's got to be some regulating here. There's got to be good people in high places that say, you know what? No, this is not okay. I have the authority and I'm not going to allow this. More of you got to keep standing up. You got to start doing the right things. Because if not, even when you don't do anything, karma's going to come and bite you in the ass as well. The fact that I'm brave enough to get on here and open my mouth and put myself at risk every single fucking time I put a video up is enough in itself. If I chose to keep silent, I would never be able to forgive myself. If I have all this knowledge or whatever I'm supposed to be passing on, all these messages and stuff, and I chose just to not say anything because I'm scared shitless I'll die or something like that, that's not why I was put in this position. That's not why I was given this opportunity. There's a platform for everybody. Everybody's allowed to speak up. And there's millions and millions and millions of people that view this shit. I'm telling you, it can reach the right person at the right time, even if it's just one. Think about that. Think about that. You've gone your entire life, even if you make a video and it reaches that one person at that right fucking time. How fucking phenomenal is that? That's like some Back to the Future shit, only it's right in the present. It's insane. You guys, we can't be living in fear. And being strictly codependent on a government, not everybody in the government shit, but you know what I'm saying. The system, the matrix, the way everything's working right now, just to be strictly dependent on that and think, oh no, like, if I don't do this or I don't do this, oh no, I'm like just in complete fear. And just, you know, at one point, just stand up for yourself, say, fuck it. Oh, fuck this. Oh, if I don't do this or I don't pay this, you're going to take that away from me? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. If it's meant for me, it'll stay. You want to take that from me? That's fine. Whatever's taken from me, and I release the need to control, it'll be replaced. Whether it be that exact same thing or in a different way. But I just release. I say, you know what? You want to take that from me? I don't think it's fair. Go ahead and do so. Or somebody's going to come steal something from me. Okay, I don't agree with it. I try to protect what is mine, but if you're going to take it from me, okay, I release control. I let it go. Works out the whatever way it's supposed to work out. If it was meant for me, it will return back to me. If it's not, then it wasn't meant to be. Sometimes things can be blessing in disguise. Sometimes a rejection can be a form of protection in whatever way. Right? I think that's a long enough rant, and hopefully this one doesn't get me too in trouble. I really hope you understand where I'm coming from with this. I really do, because it's important. I didn't know about this gemstone thing, about the crown and all that. I do know that we were made slaves the moment we got that little piece of paper to signify that we are in actual existence of our being state. That when you get that little paper, your birth certificate, that you're already part of a corporation. You're already a slave. And then when you get your social insurance number, it's just a number to keep track of their little slaves. That's it. For their system. That's it. At what point did we decide that you need a piece of paper to state that you exist, that you are you? You know what would tell one apart from another? Their energetic signature. Absolutely, 100%. You can't replicate that. You can't duplicate authenticity, genuine nature of who a person is. But yeah, take a look on your birth certificate. I don't know what it's like in the States or other places around the world, but when you get one in Canada, we're supposed to be under the crown. And that's maritime law, I'm pretty sure. Black's Law Dictionary. That's not even land, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a whole other fucking book. If you look Black's Law Dictionary, I think that's what it's called. It's completely like it's maritime law. The laws of the land and the laws of the sea and the wording and everything like that. Educate yourself. You got it all at the tips of your fingers. You can learn so much. And you'll be like, wait a minute. You start reading some of you, wait a minute. We're not even supposed to be paying the taxes. I think a lot of people caught on to that. I mean, maybe for city and work and stuff that's done around the city. Yeah, you understand that community, again. But then when it comes to other things, it was just a cash grab for war and shit. Again, a bunch of hurt children and grown people's bodies pulling strings, making other people fight like puppets. I really like my earrings. They're shells. Used to be a form of money, I think. Wealth doesn't have to be a piece of paper or a coin. Fuck now, it's plastic or digital. It's whatever we give energy to. You know what's the most valuable thing on the planet, I said this to my friend too, and he's like, gold. And I was like, nope. Think about it for a second. What's the most valuable thing on the planet right now? Do we have labor, energy? Start valuing yourself more. And if you don't want to be a fucking slave, say so. That's it. That's all you got to say. Free will. It's a choice. Yes, you have a little piece of paper. If you don't want to rip it up, don't. But you can say right now, you know what? I don't want to be a fucking slave anymore. I don't. Why? Because I fucking said so. We're not supposed to be.